As if we're frozen.
We nearly saw the real Debs.
Yeah, I just thought.
She needed to go weave off. What's going on? Okay, we're finally here. This is the Take 2 podcast. This is the very first episode, and we are really excited to be here. There's been a lot of planning, there's been a lot of work that's been done in the background, and for those that may not know, my name is Isaiah. Some of you guys know me as Izzy The Creator. I make a bit of content online on Instagram, and I think a lot of you guys like
General Michael, we don't play games.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys love it. I mean, it's growing on me. But yeah. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. So my name is Deb Orah. Deb Orah, actually. And I am Isaiah's twin sister. So I'm really excited to just be on this Take 2 podcast. 2 different perspectives. We're twins, but we're actually very different.
Yeah,
very different. So yeah, bit about me. I'm a artist, musician, worship leader, whatever you want to call it. I love singing for Jesus, and yeah, I'm a mother of 2 kids. So we'll definitely be talking about like just marriage and children, and our experiences of that as well at some point. But yeah, I'm really excited. I feel like this podcast for me, and even for Isaiah as well, is going to be very much a therapy, much needed conversations, because we don't talk a lot. I feel like growing up, look, our story's so long. We're not even going to start there, but we will get there. But there's so many things that have led to, I think, a breakdown of communication between myself and the closest person to me in my mother's womb, and even as we've grown up. So I think it's going to be really nice.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm a little bit nervous as well, because, yeah, we decided to do this. I think there are definitely a lot of conversations that we want to have. We've had a few conversations already, and it has been a journey. I think, the journey that we've had, there's been a lot of ups and downs. I think there's a lot of, like, growing up that we've had, maturing, and I think different life experiences from you living in America as well. It's been crazy. So I'm a little bit nervous. I'm excited at the same time, but we thought, why don't we just try and document this, and then see where it takes us. And I think, we've got different topics that we've got planned and stuff like that. So it's not just going to be about, us. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, but let's just see where it goes. And
for sure.
I think
it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Because I think, like, Isaiah is not someone, I feel like a lot of people have just got to know you from your sudden fame. And I think people, like, see him in one way, but I think it's really interesting to people to see you. And we actually talk. Like, Isaiah, I think I can count on my hand how many times you've actually said, I love you to me. Even on my wedding day.
Did I not say it? Did I say it?
I'm not that type of person to be like, I'm gonna say I love you and that. But
did I really say that?
We'll insert clip if we can do that. I don't know if we can insert clip, but if we can insert clip,
I'm editing the video, clip. So we're not gonna edit. We're not gonna.
But like, so from someone who like literally, I think our family's like that. We don't speak about certain things, and I think that is going to be
saying them words of like saying those kind of words. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, does it come? I mean, it may come naturally to you, but I think how we've been brought up has been, or I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out as we have these conversations. But as you said, a lot of people see this person on socials. You don't have to have like thousands of followers. I think everyone has their own social.
Thanks.
No, you're not. No, but do you know what I mean? Everyone goes on social media.
Yeah.
Everyone posts videos on when they go on holiday and when they've got like birthday parties and birthday meals, but that's not like their life.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
people may think that they know someone, but actually they don't. So, yeah, I think it'll be good to just, you know, take you guys on this journey, and hopefully you get edified by this, you know, and you're invested in it as well, and hopefully encourages people as well, and it also sparks up conversations, questions as well. And we just kind of go from there. But I guess moving on to the first bit of the podcast, we wanted to get you guys involved. So, you know, I sent out a little message or story on my Instagram, and I wanted answers and I wanted feedback. So what I sent out was, am I a good Christian if I... And I wanted to see what some of the answers were. So we're going to actually pick some. I think we're going to pick like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And just go from there and see if we can answer them. So let's just pick. Yeah. Okay. So we've picked 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. You can start. So, am I a good Christian if I curse out crazy drivers?
Am I a good Christian if I curse out crazy drivers? Have you ever cursed out a crazy driver? Have you ever sworn at someone? It's about to get surreal. Have you ever cursed out a crazy driver?
I think...
Yes. Yeah, you have. Okay.
No,
yeah.
I think in my head, like, sometimes I'm like, you idiot.
Hey! He said...
I said the big eye.
You idiot. Yikes.
No, but do you know what I mean? Like, some people, I mean, I don't think I'm a sweary person. Well, I've never really sworn. Even, you know, before, like, I got serious with... You used to.
I did.
Deborah used to have a pot mouth.
First of all, this is not going to be a shame and name.
Deborah used to.
I did not have a pot mouth.
Deborah, so you're saying you never swore at me?
I asked you the question. Have you cursed out crazy drivers?
Okay, I think in short, I would say yes, but not like massively vulgar language. I've just out of frustration I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that, look, we fall down and we get up.
You're gonna sing
right? But I actually think, look, cursing, it depends what you mean by cursing, right? Because if we look at cursing in regards to swearing, then I don't think vulgar words should be coming out of your mouth, really, as a good Christian. When we're saying Christian, I'm saying someone who's following Christ and trying to live like Christ.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ did not curse out people. So I think that is really important to just like think about, because unfortunately there's so many people, there's so many people that there's a preacher recently, I don't know his name, if I knew his name I would say it, who said that it's okay to curse. And that Jesus is okay. I wish I knew who he was. But I'm sure someone did. Type in the comments if that's how we do things, of who I'm talking about. But there was a recent popular preacher who said it's okay, like Jesus is fine with you cursing. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like,
that kind of leads to a topic that we should talk about at one point. Some of the stuff that I'm seeing on Instagram and seeing on YouTube is crazy.
Especially by people that attach themselves to the name of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And that's so scary, because I think that's just leading God's people away. But really, I think cursing out crazy drivers, that should not be the response of a Christian, to be honest.
So what do you think you should do if someone like cuts you up? Should you just say, bless you, brother? Bless you, sister.
I mean, again, when people say that, I also think that's really fake.
So
to be honest, like.
So what should you do?
Like.
Yes.
Yeah, bite your tongue, clench your butt cheeks, and leave it as.
Why did you say clench your butt cheeks?
No, because. No, because sometimes you need to like just restrain everything.
So you have to
honestly,
clench.
for me, look, I'm just, for me, for me,
wait. So, see, if you see Deborah getting angry, just know
I'm just saying.
just know she's clenching her butt cheeks.
No, but listen, for real, I think that you have to do everything you can to stop yourself from cursing. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Actually, when we talk about like our teen life and whatever, I know I had an anger problem. I know that. So I think being quick to words is something that the Holy Spirit really had to help me with. But I think curse, like swearing, even when you like hit your pinky or you hit your toe, the response should be, oh, just literally, even sometimes, and it sounds really funny, but I'll just be like hit and I'll just start singing a worship song instead of, and it will take my mind off it. At the end of the day, like
So what, you instead of for you are great.
Yes, whatever it means to do, because at the end of the day, the Bible says that death and life come out of your tongue. What you cursing out someone? First of all, where do curse words come from? I think we're spending too long on this question, but like, you're a Christ. Like, try and be like Christ. Don't curse out crazy drivers.
Okay, that was a good start. We've got 3 more to go. All right, so the next one is: am I a good Christian if I kiss my boyfriend or girlfriend before marriage? Oish.
Did you kiss your girlfriend before marriage?
I had a few girlfriends, didn't I, in my past?
Well, let's go there, shall we?
Listen, look, as I said, I'm going to be transparent.
Yeah, please, because I've been waiting for this transparency for years. So
Yeah,
please,
I mean, look.
let's hear it.
And I guess this kind of ties into, I guess, what we may be speaking about later on. But I knew. I mean, I did kiss before marriage. Like obviously with previous like relationships and stuff. But I knew it was wrong. I knew it was wrong. You know, some people say, oh, what if it's just, just a peck or whatever. But, I guess it goes back to the question, Christian, am I being Christ-like? Like,
Yeah.
you know that we know that as Christians, fornication is wrong. And kissing is a gateway to that.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
To be honest, because like if you kiss someone, you're gonna either, as a guy, I guess, you most probably be aroused, or it could lead to something else. And I guess we're talking about boundaries now.
Yeah.
Like, do you have boundaries? Have you set yourself boundaries? And yeah, are you willing to keep those boundaries? So for me, my personal perspective is I don't think it is Christ-like to do that. I think it can wait. I think it can fall under the bracket of self-control.
Yeah.
I don't think kissing your partner is the only way of showing love to them.
Yeah.
Especially like before marriage. I think in marriage, yeah, of course, like it's a great thing to do, but before marriage, I think there's other ways. You can set your standards, set your boundaries, to protect yourself as well, and yeah, to be a good example. Set a good example as a guy as well. You want to set a good example, even to your wife on what it is to be an upright, righteous man. So I would say it's not the best thing to do. It's not a good thing to do.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I agree. I think a lot of the time we look to see what does the Bible say about certain things, to the details, and that is where we will make the decisions of what we do and depend on what is right or wrong. But the Bible also says that not everything that you do is bad, but it's also not beneficial. And I think that's where that sort of kissing thing comes into play. I think that self-control element with your boyfriend or your girlfriend before marriage tells you a lot of what your marriage is going to look like. And if your partner they struggle with respecting that you don't want to kiss, or even trying to doesn't want those boundaries, I would put a huge question mark as someone knowing the importance of marriage. So I think it is really, really important to have those boundaries and to have those clear set expectations. And I think some people are, look, kissing is not sex. Kissing is not, it's just kissing. But it's a gateway. It starts somewhere, like you said. Like it doesn't, everything that you do, I think, has to lead to representing Christ and the image of Christ and the church. So kissing your boyfriend, kissing your girlfriend, I personally agree, I would avoid it as much as you can. As much as you can. And actually, people like our Debs, that's a really backwards way of seeing things. Because one, you will see your favourite Instagrammer, Christian preacher, anyway, hey, I'm gonna get in trouble. But you will see your favourite Christian influencers kissing and doing things with their partners, and you think it's okay. I think not everything you see, even from people that we respect and look up to, can glorify God, and we have to be really careful to set our expectations on relationships like that. Did you know when I first met Fidel, my husband, for those of you guys who don't know, it was Gloria's wedding, and remember when everyone was upstairs, playing and just talking upstairs in what is the spare room now? Do you remember everyone was upstairs? After the wedding. Anyway, everyone was upstairs, and me and Fidel, you could tell there 51? Was and you could tell that there was this connection and this spark, and whatever. This was after the wedding's done. Yeah, everybody was there.
I was in the room.
You was up. Everybody was upstairs. Everyone was up there. His sister. Everybody was upstairs. Everyone was playing, having a great time after the wedding, and the wedding was so busy for me because I was doing so much. But I knew there was slight feelings starting to come up. And I remember we went downstairs because I went to get a cup of water or whatever. I went downstairs and he came down as well. And we were just talking, having good, just general conversation. And I remember Fidel leaned in to kiss me. Yeah.
Fidel!
Wait, he was
Fidel?
Still, he was freshly saved, okay. But he leaned in to kiss me, and in that moment,
we're gonna have words, Fidel. He's downstairs.
With my husband, what are you gonna have? He leaned in to kiss me, and I pushed back, and I said,
"That's
sorry."
not like you. That's not like you.
Yes, it is. Let me tell my story. This is where we're gonna have problems. He leant in to kiss me. Honestly, he's downstairs. We can actually get him to vouch this story. And I remember I pushed back. And
was it slow or fast? Was he quickly in, or was it?
Who cares? And he literally, and I just said sorry, that's just not what I'm about. I was really on fire for God at that time as well.
Did you give him a hug instead?
Do you know what? I just explained, and he said fairs. He understood.
Did you give him a side hug instead?
Do you know what? The night before we got married, he mentioned that same story. And he said, Deborah, that's when I knew that you were the person that I wanted to be with, because I had never had a girl be no.
Because all the girls said yes to him.
No. No, it was more of the idea of wow, you've actually got boundaries. You've got and it's rooted in God. It's not just rooted in nothing. It's this. I'm gonna quit this podcast. So what I'm saying is, I think it's good. You can actually be setting yourself up for a good foundation.
That's good. That's very good.
Did we kiss after? I don't know. Let's move on.
Don't copy my accent. That's my accent. Don't copy that. It's mine. All right.
Let's do one more because of time.
Okay. All right, we'll take this one then. Am I a good Christian if I don't share my testimony?
Do we have to share our testimony as a believer? Basically, is what this question is saying. Am I a good Christian if I don't share my testimony? What do you think? Do you want to go or do you want me to go?
Yeah, you can start.
I think it's not about being a good Christian, but I don't think you are a practicing Christian if you don't share your testimony. If that makes sense, because the Great Commission, go out and evangelize and speak and share the good news. Part of that good news is your testimony. I think being practicing Christians is different from being good Christians. For me, a good Christian screams religious, doing all the things that are under the law and wanting to like fulfill those things. But actually, are we going past that and doing what Jesus has spoken and told us to do? Practicing am I a practicing Christian? Am I a definition of a Christian if I don't share my testimony? No. Because you have to share your testimony. The Bible says we will overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony.
Yeah.
So that's something that you've got to do as a Christian. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to stand in front of the church and speak your testimony, but you do have to share the reality and the truth of who Jesus is in your life.
Yeah, I like what you said there. And I think what I'll add to that is one thing that I have seen with how I've spoken with people and had conversations with people, there are some people that you come across that like to debate things or like to debate things of religion.
Yeah.
And one thing that they can't debate is your testimony.
Yeah.
Because what you've been through, what you've experienced is something that they can't take away from you. Mm-hmm. All you can do is share your life, where you were and where you are now, and the reason to why you are what you are now and how you are now because of, of Jesus. And I think when you approach that in that type of way, and you also back it up with your lifestyle, how you live your life, and how you are representing Christ, if you are an ambassador of Christ, that can be a really, really powerful combination. And I think we are all called to do that. We're called to be ambassadors of Christ, and I think we are called to share the gospel, share the good news, but share your testimony as well. So yeah, am I a good Christian if I don't share my testimony? Probably not. I think you're probably a selfish one.
Ooh, yeah, absolutely. I like that.
So I don't know if that's an oxymoron or not, but
I think, to be fair, I think just whoever sent that question in, don't be afraid to share your testimony. Don't be afraid to share what God has done in your life. It doesn't have to be big elaborate things, but literally just sharing with your friend what God has done in your life. That is sharing your testimony. So I think sometimes we scale it and try, and it becomes a bit scary when it's speak in front of hundreds of people. But start with your neighbor, start with those around you, close to you. Share what God has done, because like you said, it's selfish. Yeah,
and I mean, even if you excuse me, even if you are surrounded by Christian friends and stuff like that, share your testimony with them as well. Get used to sharing that, and once you've done that, then spread, expand your territory. I really like the questions that have been brought in. We've had loads of questions that have been brought in. Obviously we can't cover all of them, but we are going to be trying to cover them in each podcast, and we're going to be sending out excuse me, we're going to be sending out different questions as well. But this is just so that we can just engage with you guys, we can interact with you guys, and just get some insight on what you guys really want to know. So I really appreciate you guys sending those messages in, sending those responses in. I think we won't do the last one, but we'll definitely pick it up probably on the next episode.
Yeah. So I think let's move on to what we're actually going to talk about today, which is a good sort of introduction to who we are. Am I a good pastor's kid? So basically, for those of you who don't know, me and Isaiah both are pastors' children. Both our parents are pastors. In fact, they founded a church in Kent, Fountain Church. Plug real quick. So not only were they pastors, they're founding pastors. We've seen the sacrifice. We've seen what comes with starting a ministry and all of that stuff. So really, like, are we good pastors' kids? Do you think we grew up being good pastors' kids? And like, what unique challenges do you think you faced as a pastor's kid? Because look, guys, to be honest, and even Isaiah, we had such different upbringings, even though we were in the same household. I feel like I was a different pastor's kid to Isaiah. He was a different pastor's kid. He was like the typical drummer, musician. Maybe let's not start that conversation. But like, what unique challenges did you face as a pastor's kid growing up under Mama Rose and Pastor C? What challenges? Did you feel like it was smooth? Do you feel like being a pastor's kid is part of your identity?
Yeah, it's a loaded question. It's a loaded question. I think where I will start, if I'm going to be honest, is...
You hated it.
I didn't hate it, but I think I struggled to be vulnerable with my parents. Because I don't know
That's really interesting.
Yeah, because I felt like, you know, if I did something really wrong, like I felt like I shouldn't.
Well, because they're pastors.
Yeah, I think there was a big element to it was because we were like pastors' kids, you know, involved in the church and stuff like that. I think there was a season where I was like, I struggled to like, if I did something wrong or if I had a question about something, I would be a little bit apprehensive.
Do you not feel like that was a you thing though? Because I felt like again, like going back to that two perspectives, I really like enjoyed being a pastor's kid.
How so?
Under our parents. Do you know, for me, I could separate them being my parents and being our pastors. To the point, I remember there was one pinnacle point where I went to our mum, and I said to her, Mum, like, I've smoked, I've done this, I've done that. I need you to pray a prayer of deliverance over me. To this day, like, Dad does not know anything.
He
about
probably
that.
does.
No, seriously. I told her.
He does now.
I told her like such deep stuff, and I approached her and said, "I'm coming to you as my pastor, not as my mum. I'm coming to you as my pastor. I need this." Like, so I always, for me, that's why I'm like, why did you never feel? Why did you feel that you couldn't?
I don't know. I guess we're different. I don't know. Maybe I had a level expectation or bar that I set upon myself, and I was like, you know, I think there was an element at the beginning where I wanted to please them. I wanted to make them happy.
And you felt like what your flaws would disappoint that.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I think I just struggled in that area a little bit, to be honest.
You gonna cry?
No.
Your eyes are watering.
No, they're not.
Yikes.
They're not. They're not.
I said, oh, it's getting emotional.
You wanted me to cry.
No, it actually looked like you. No, it actually looked like you were like.
So why were you smiling? Like,
I said, well, his eyes really bringing the emotion.
No, I think I just struggled a little bit with that. Yeah.
But why? Like, I feel like that is something that you struggled with in general in our childhood.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I don't know. I think. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're right, because in different elements, even when it comes to like finances and stuff, I've always felt like I have to keep it in and just fight it out. Excuse me. Yeah, and I felt like I needed to like fight it out, kind of figure it out myself.
yeah.
So I guess that might be just a personality trait that I need to still kind of aggressively work on, because I feel like
For sure.
I am I still see
You
that.
still see those traits.
Yeah, I still see those traits. Like I always want to like kind of figure it out, fight it out. So yeah, I guess that was brought into that element as well in terms of ministry. And I think one thing that I struggled with is if there's times where I felt like maybe I was in the right space in terms of like I wasn't serious with God.
Yeah.
I felt like I couldn't just say I want to break with certain things or
Absolutely
whatever.
not. Yeah.
Did you feel the same way?
Yeah. Like we couldn't say we wanted a break because we were serving.
But
there was no one else to do those things.
But I think we should have in those times, right? This is where I would have loved to have had our older
Parents.
brother
Yeah.
to speak about
I think
it.
we'll definitely will have it because I think having a 10-year gap with him as well, I feel like him going away to uni and moving to Leicester meant he could have that break, but almost that huge responsibility was left on us to like lead worship and to do all of these things because we had to step up into that role. He was gone physically, even Blandy, like our older sister, they were gone. So I feel like as well, part of us had to carry that pressure of supporting and driving the ministry because we were physically here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just thinking back because I'm like...
It's a long time, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to... I think because of what we know now in terms of like how serious it is like with what we're doing, like we've got the understanding even in terms of like leading praise and worship, being on the altar, like how you need to come correct. I think maybe
it's helped.
With more it's like I wouldn't want to step on stage if I know that
your life is not.
My life is not. Is not reflecting how it should be. So I think as we're young, we're teenagers, we're still figuring it out, and I feel like even at that point, you still kind of know when you're doing something right, when you're doing something wrong, or if you're not serious with God. And so I think there was just those kind of challenges, and having family in ministry kind of put that extra kind of pressure in terms of, we need to figure it out sooner or later kind of thing. But I'm also so grateful for it.
Yeah.
Because, and there's people that used to come to church, young people that used to come to church, and they had no influence. Like their parents would not push them to come to church.
Yeah.
They may even have to walk to church. I used to respect those people because it's like no one is pushing you. No, you haven't got that support to like bring you to go to church or to serve. So I was like, you know what, respect. Like I really like respected that, and I was like, that was really inspiring. But for myself, like I'm grateful that we had that support as well. There's times where perhaps we didn't want to serve or whatever, but we still had that infrastructure in the home where we're like, okay, no matter what, you're still going to church on a Sunday. And I think that really helped me in terms of just keeping me in line and establishing certain things, sowing a seed in my life where it would come to fruition later on. So
I think definitely like being a pastor's kid is not easy. It's not easy. Like people put such an expectation for you to be perfect role models. And people look to you in every small thing. Like, let's talk about hairstyles, right? Even being pastor's kids up until like past teenage years, like where we're adults now, people have such an expectation that you have to be perfect and you have to be living in such a way. Like we were talking earlier about a situation where I shaved like this part of my head and I had the hair, that old Rihanna
it's the
look,
Rihanna era.
right? And I literally shaved that part of my head. And remember when I was working at my sister's shop that she had, and another pastor came and told my mum and was like, how can you let Deb Orah serve with a hairstyle like that, like really really upset about the fact that I had that hairstyle and whatnot. And look, bear in mind, I was like, 16, 15 or whatever, and I had done that hairstyle. Actually, I was probably like 17, 18 actually, and I did that hairstyle. But why, like that, I realized in that point that small things, even from the way that you dress to the way that you carry yourself to your hairstyle,
everyone is looking.
And it doesn't even give you that grace to like mess up. And I think that's where the difference is between me and you. I felt like you experienced the whole dibble dabbling in life and messing up and doing what you wanted.
Sure.
But I almost felt like I couldn't because...
Why? See, I think that is one... I think I got to a point in my life where I just...
You said, oh well.
I didn't really...
Want to have fun?
I didn't care. I'm not sure if care is the right word, but I didn't really care what people thought to an extent. I
don't think it was just that you didn't care about what people thought. I almost feel like you didn't really care.
In general?
About like
people's
your
thoughts.
actions and the consequences that they would have. And that's why I say for me, I think this is where the twin perspective, because you were able to go out and have girlfriends and do whatever, I felt like I couldn't do that.
Was I open about that though? The girlfriend stuff. Not really. Was I?
I would say so.
What?
I would say so, Isaiah. Like, mum and dad they knew about you and girlfriends. They never... Fidel was the only boyfriend I ever had, according to their eyes.
Yeah, but...
Also according to my eyes.
But listen, you say that, but they never said girlfriend. They just said friend.
Isaiah,
that's your friend.
But it was almost okay for you to experience life.
Why'd you say that?
It was okay for you.
Know.
As a pastor, I feel like you had the freedom to sin and do, like, not that they were like, yeah, sin, but I feel like you had the grace to do that. And I didn't. Don't you remember the one time, guys, I was outside the garden.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I was like...
That was crazy.
Let's not even go into that story.
That was crazy.
I'll literally just wrap it.
No,
basically,
that was crazy,
I was... What, from me?
Yes. Deborah, we were like 15. Deborah, we were like 15, 16, and like...
I was talking outside the door.
Until like 11.
Not until...
Until 11.
Isaiah, not until 11. Look, this is the story. Let me tell you the story.
So what, until 9?
It was not even dark.
Deborah, it was dark.
Isaiah, first of all, this baffles my head, because you're talking about me talking to two people that came to return a bike, Isaiah, to our house when you were doing far worse than talking outside of a door. These two boys came, they returned a bike to our house, and it was late. Yes, it was nighttime, but they returned it. In fact, I was doing you a favor, because I came and took your bike, put it back in the garden. They were friends as well. We were talking outside in my garden.
You, though. I was in the house.
We were talking.
I was in the house.
But I don't know. They came and dropped it. I was just talking to them. Next minute, guys, I hear a crook, a crook, a crook. The doors had locked. I was standing outside, bearing in mind the doors had locked. Basically, my dad had locked me out of the house because I was talking to two boys outside the door.
Late at night.
It wasn't late at night, but still, this is where I'm trying to get you to understand. Our experiences were very different. Very, very different, Isaiah. You were out very late at times. Look, I'm not here to expose anything. But the point is, like, my dad was so upset with that situation. I felt like I couldn't sin. I couldn't dibble dabble. I couldn't, and actually I thank God for that. It's not something that I'm like complaining about, but it was just a reality that our experiences growing up as pastors' kids were different. It was, Isaiah. It was way different. And I think for me, it stemmed into, no offense, that's just when you're about to give offense, isn't it? But it stemmed into, I don't want to hurt our parents even more than what my siblings have done. Gloria, Peter.
Are you hearing this?
I just had to be a good child.
So you was the star child, were
I
you?
wasn't the star child.
Well, that's what you said. You didn't want to hurt. You didn't want to hurt our parents.
I don't know why I had
You didn't want to
that.
hurt our parents more than we already have.
Take it as you will.
What in the siblings is that?
No, but it wasn't that. I just felt like I didn't want to. I didn't want to do anything that would like. So I never got to have my rebellion phase. I never got to have my.
Oh, Deborah.
Isaiah, you know that's the truth. You know that's the truth.
But you just
I
said
wasn't
that
wild
you're
out there.
smoking
I took a puff. A little cheese. A puff.
And what about?
I wasn't a daily.
What about when you? Listen, what about when you got spiked?
Can we focus on what we're talking about?
So what about when you got spiked?
I wasn't an alcoholic. I wasn't.
So you do admit you did have a drink.
I had a
So
sip.
why did you say you didn't? Hey, listen. If you knew, Deborah, how you portrayed that story was
That was the case, but we're not going into that because people don't know what we're talking about. We'll come into that when we talk about our teen years. We're not talking about that now. But yeah, I just feel like there are definitely expectations that people have as like as like pastors' kids and that. And I think our experiences were just different. But I feel like as well, they did shape us in what we understand as faith and how we understand our faith.
Yeah, I think it's a interesting topic to talk about. All right, guys. So the camera cut out on us. So we're just gonna jump straight back in and just ask you, Debs. You know, where are you at as a pastor's kid, all grown up and all that? Like, what's the vibe?
Yeah. I think what's really interesting, like with this whole topic of being pastors' kids, a lot of pastors' kids tend to leave the church, or maybe they're in the church from the time that they're living with their parents because they have no choice to be there. But as soon as they leave the home, they just are completely out of the faith. And I think that's because a lot of the time for many pastors' kids, what's inbuilt in them is that discipline of showing up and playing church actually sometimes because they see their parents serving. And like, it's so important to understand that like our parents, when they're pastors, God has put that calling on their life, and it is a big calling. And I think what's important for us that we had to learn was not to be what's that word when you're like feeling bad about it, not to be
condemned,
no, like not to be like build up unforgiveness or like bitterness towards your parents,
resentment.
To not be resentment against the calling that God has put on them, and because our parents are human and they mess up. It's disconnected.
Yeah, it's still recording.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Still recording.
Sure? Why is it not recording there?
That's just the monitor.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Right. Yeah, sometimes we build that resentment.
We nearly saw the real Debs.
Yeah, I just thought...
She needed to go weave-off. What's going on?
No, but for real, like, I think there is that resentment that builds, right, for pastors' kids. But I mean, for us, which is what I'm super, super thankful for, and it's never too late as well for other pastors' kids who feel like, oh my gosh, I've like left track and I've lost like my desire to be in church. A desire to be in church. But
Desire.
But for us now, like I'm the worship leader at my church. I support my husband with the children's ministry that he runs as well. I'm involved in everything else, in every ministry pretty much in the church. But I help out with you as well, with the ministry that you lead as well. Youth, yeah, connected. But I still have children, and I'm starting to see, like, I get it. I bring my kids to prayers. I bring my kids to intercession meetings. I bring my kids to everything in the church. And for me, what's important is I want them to grow up with a genuine love and a desire, but also to see the sacrifice and what serving looks like without neglecting my family.
Yeah, and I think you touched on a good point, the genuine love, and I think the like living this life in terms of, you know, a life of ministry and serving God. I think one thing that we are, you know, we have to thank God for, all of our our siblings, the whole family are serving God, are in the ministry and actually serving God.
Yeah.
But I think a massive part of that is because we did see our parents do it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a persona at church and then at home it's different. Like I've spoken to a lot of people, a lot of pastors' kids where the home life is different.
Yeah,
like
that's real.
How the parents are different to how they are at church. And I mean, I'm not trying to call anyone out, but that's probably a reason to why a lot of pastors' kids are drawn away.
Yeah,
you know,
from the church.
There is that, what's that stereotype that pastors' kids are naughty and they do this and that and they do crazy things. But I think maybe
sinful.
Yeah, but maybe an element of it is because
they're seeing
two worlds and it's conflicting with them.
Yeah,
and they now want to juggle both. It's probably not something that people want to hear or like to hear, but I think that's the reality of it. I think one thing that has helped us is that there's always been consistency.
Yeah.
There's been no inconsistency.
We saw church in our home.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, and I think that's where where our parents founded the church really helped, because we actually got to see the sacrifice that comes into it, and we would see it in home. But having said that, like, I think there is a balance still that needs to happen at home. Yeah, a balance needs to happen between... Oh my gosh.
She does it. Do you know what I'm...
Yes. I think there is still, even pastors, and now that we have children and we're serving and we're in ministry, like a lot, we dedicate a lot of time to that. We have to remember there is a balance. Our first ministry is our children, is our family, is our wives and husbands, right? So I think it is having...
Sorry, it's in my head, sorry. Every time you say balance, Siaga.
You need deliverance. You need Jesus, actually. But literally, I think it is... No, you've thrown me off. I don't know what I was saying.
Sorry.
I don't know what I was saying. But yeah.
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 Thanks, guys. Like and subscribe. Hang in there.
Yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up. We've done it in less than an hour, actually.
Yeah.
It's quite...
It was nice. I enjoyed it.
Good intro.
Yeah.
Good intro to the series.
And put in the comments below. Are you a pastor's kid? Yeah. How was your experience? Was it the same? Do you relate more to Izzy? First of all, I really don't like the fact that people call Isaiah Izzy.
Izzy boy.
Isaiah, you were never called Izzy growing up. It's like...
I don't know how it happens.
So I hate it. I'm sorry. I'll say it now. Izzy. Every time I hear someone say Izzy, I'm like, his name is Isaiah.
It works.
Isaiah.
It works. Yeah, in fact, I want people to, if they do say my full name, I want it to be pronounced Isaiah.
Because he's American, apparently.
English people say it too.
And English people do not call it Isaiah.
They do. Ross does at church, and Stacey. They say Isaiah, and I like it.
Fair enough.
Call me Isaiah.
This is
Isaiah.
He's going into his 30s and he's changing his name. Izzy, I hate that one, please. Isaiah,
behave,
don't
I'm
do
28.
That. Isaiah, we're turning 30 in 2 years. He's so annoying.
Listen, Izzy, it works. Izzy the Creator.
Why did you call yourself Izzy? Do you feel like you had to change and be Izzy?
It just naturally came about.
We called you Isaiah. In fact, we called him Eyes.
So why did you call yourself Deborah?
No, my name is Deb Orah.
Yeah, but for time, you used to call yourself Deborah or Debbie.
Because
call me Debbie.
You see this, lion. You see this. I never
Debbie,
called
you know.
myself Deborah. People called me Deborah. And because I didn't have the guts and the strength, I said, okay, my name's Deborah. But now I understand and I know who I am. And people call me Deb Orah, my name.
Well, guys.
So this is Isaiah and Deborah. Thank you for watching.
No, but honestly, yeah. I mean, you can subscribe. But
Is this on your channel or my channel?
we'll find out. But listen,
Yeah.
subscribe. I mean, the socials are going to be on there.
Yeah.
If you want to follow, what we do. Deborah's got some bangers out as well on Spotify. Check her out. Add her songs on the playlist.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say about anything about my Spotify, but
You have one song, but still, you can push it.
nah, not at this point.
Living in this crazy life. Life.
In the shadows, mate.
That's the one, Shadows.
But
Shadows.
anyway, yeah, please comment. If there's any questions, feel free to DM us on Instagram as well. But yeah, comment on this on the video, what you liked, what you didn't like, and what you'd like to see more of.
Not that we really care, to be honest, but
yeah, that's true. We don't really care.
You care a little bit.
No, but it'll be good to get insight on what you enjoyed, what you didn't. Right? It's good to know what people enjoyed because yeah, we're gonna still be raw and still be authentic, but it'll be nice to see what people enjoyed, what they liked, and yeah, man, we're gonna call it there, and we'll see you for the next one.
Norma, how do you live with him?
It's not very nice.
Maybe that will be a different topic.
Bye.